Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make a background for your Google Slides. And because back to school night is coming up, I'm going to go ahead and make some examples for back to school night. So I start at Google Drive and I click on New, and then I click on Google Slides, and I get a new Google slide. And of course, the first thing I get is this whole click to add title business. I want to go ahead and start with a completely blank one. So I can do a couple of things. I can go ahead and click on these boxes and delete them, or I can just go ahead and click on layout and choose blank, and it makes it blank. So I'm going to go ahead and add the logo for the district. So I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm just going to type in WCCUSD logo. And it comes up. I'm going to click on images. I want you to notice too, we have some other of our schools that have logos, so you could use those too. But I'm going to go ahead and click on images. So here are the images. And what I want though is I want it to have a transparent background, just in case I change the actual background to be a color. I don't want this showing up with a white square around it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Tools. And then I'm going to pick Color. And I'm going to pick Transparent. Okay, so it's only going to show me now the ones that are transparent. Now at this time too, if I think that I want one that's really large or high quality, I'm going to click on Size. And I would pick Large. For this one, I'm just going to say any size. So I'm going to click on this one, and the picture then shows up here. And if it shows with this checkerboard, the background, that means that it's a transparent background. So I'm just going to right click on it, and I'm going to click on copy image. And I'm going to go back to my presentation, right click and paste. And there it is. So that's a little bit large. I don't necessarily want that to be my base background. It's a little bit big. I want to be able to have space to put my information. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I'll place it over here. And I'm going to put a couple of like nice looking stripes behind it. So let's see. I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to start my line so I get the crosshairs, and I'm going to start my line here. Let's see. I'm going to hold down the shift key as I draw it so that I get a perfectly straight line. So here's my perfectly straight line. I'm going to go all the way to the end here and let go. Okay, there's my line, and I'm going to change the width, or the weight is what it's called, and I'm going to make it 8 point. Let's see how thick. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, I know it's over the logo, but I'm going to share with you how to change that in just a moment. And I actually want to make it so that it matches this yellow color in the background. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it a little bit better. Click on the zoom, click over here. I'm going to click again. Great. Now that I'm done with the magnifying glass, I'm going to click on it again so it doesn't zoom again when I click. Move this over a little bit. Oops. Okay. Let me move. Don't want to do that again. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Move that over. And I'm going to use ColorZilla, which I love, and this is a Chrome extension. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to click on Page Color Picker Active, and I'm going to click on this yellow here, and what it does is it copies to the clipboard that color. So now I'm going to click on my line again. I have a blue box around it now. That's how I know that it's been selected. And I'm going to click here. It's a little pencil for the line color, and I'm going to click on the plus sign underneath custom, and right here I'm going to paste because it already copied the color code for that. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to click on OK, and it changes it to that color. Okay. So now I want one that matches this purple color. So I'm going to do this again, but this time, make it easy on myself, I'm going to go ahead and fit, which means I zoom out. I'm going to click on this, Control C for copy and Control V for paste. Now I have two yellow lines, and I'm going to line them up, put them right next to each other. Ooh, that's kind of overlapping. Move it down a little bit. Well, we'll fix that in a minute when we can zoom it in. And, oh, except it's, there we go. I'm going to use ColorZilla again. Click on it. Come down, pick the purple. Great. Now I'm going to click on the pencil again. Click on the plus under custom, Control V. Purple color, okay. Now, I can tell that these are not lined up, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Right down here. Yeah, they're kind of lined up. So I'm going to select both of them. Now, to select more than one thing, you can just go ahead and draw a little box around it. It selects both of them. And they are lined up, but they're not all the way to the edge, so I'm going to move them over to the edge. I get a little red line when I get there. And I'm going to move this over and see how I'm doing on the other side. Is it to the edge? Yes, it is. Okay. Now I'm going to click away because I only want to grab the purple one. And in order to move something just a little bit, I hold down the Shift key and use the arrow. So I'm going to use the up arrow. So I'm going just a little bit at a time, just until I close the gap. I'm almost there. A little bit at a time. Great. That should do it. Okay. Now I want to move this to the front. So I'm going to click on the logo. Then I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose order. And I'm going to choose bring to front. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to once again click on the arrow next to the zoom and click on fit. That doesn't look so bad. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and add down here. I'm going to add, oops, let me click on zoom again so that I don't zoom when I click again. I'm going to add a text box. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and pick my font. I like this one. And I'm going to type in my name. This is Roberts, room 18, and my school, what used to be my school, and my room number. Okay. Down here you can put any other kind of information you'd like. So this is looking pretty good. I'm feeling pretty happy about this. Pretty basic, but that's really okay. So I'm going to use this as my background, and I want to use it regularly. Now from here, I can go ahead and just do the simple way, which is selecting on the left, Control C, and then pasting as many as I want so that it keeps that as the background. And now I can go ahead and put in a title. So text box, whatever size I want. Pick my font, pick the size. Notice the cursor gets larger. So it's good to remember that you can either insert from the insert menu. So these are all the choices. Or when you click on the slide itself, you do have some of those right up here. Okay, this is text box. This is insert image. This is a shape. So, and there are several shapes here. as you scroll around, you can see there are a lot of different shapes, okay? And then also you can add a line, and I've already shown you how to do a perfectly straight line. And that same trick also works with doing like a perfectly round circle. So I hold down Shift and draw the circle, perfectly round circle. If I did not hold down the Shift, I would have to, oops, let me pick the shape again, circle. I would have to kind of eyeball it. And I don't know about you, I don't think, well, that's not too bad. All right. I don't know if you noticed, but there were some guides that showed up to show me that this circle that I was drawing was at that point exactly the same width as this circle. So that helped a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just select and delete. That's how you do a shape. You can do different kinds of lines. Scribble is, you know, pretty fancy. All right. There's your scribble. You can also do a polyline, which means you create a line, one line, and then it just kind of continues. And all I'm doing is tapping the mouse. So moving it, tapping, moving it, tapping. And then what it does is it becomes a shape once you have brought the lines together. That's polyline. Let's say I want to change the color in here. So this paint bucket has now come up. So I pick the color, I pick the shape, I pick this fill color, and I can change it to be orange. I can also change the outline. So let's say the outline is now purple. Can't really tell because it's very thin. If I click here, I can choose a border weight that's just a little bit darker. I can also pick a different kind of line. So a dotted line or a dashed line, or what I like to call the Morse code line. Okay, so that's what that looks like. You can get really creative with all of this. I can also go ahead and add in an image. If I click on this arrow here, I get the choices. So I can, at this point, add from my drive. I can upload from my computer. I can search the web. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to put search the web, and as always, I'm going to put corgi. Okay, and I can find a picture that I like and I want to insert, and all I have to do, oh, this one's cute, is click on the picture. I can click on more than one if I want. Okay, and it'll tell me I have three selected. Oh, I selected that one. Sorry, it's clicking around. So I'm going to click on insert, creating images, and there are my 3 pictures now. It just depends. They might be different sizes. But I can go ahead and should always click away first and then click on one of them, and I can go ahead and resize. Now, here is something about resizing, which is really important to understand when you're resizing a photo, is that if you pick ones on the side, not on the corners, but in the middle of the sides, what you do is you actually change the aspect ratio, which means that you get, instead of a nice fluffy corgi, you get a skinny, tall, kind of weird looking corgi. So I'm going to do Control Z to undo. So Control Z is always undo. And if you pick one in the corner instead, right, you can go ahead and keep the ratio so it looks right, but make it bigger if you want. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just delete that picture. I'm only going to keep one. I think I'm going to keep this one. Yeah. So if I click on it and the borders around it, then if I hit delete, it just gets rid of it. So here's my corgi. I'm going to resize him. I can actually go ahead and put some words on top, draw a text box. And this is what I really like about Google Slides, is that I can layer things one on top of the other. So if I type something in here, all right, this, I can't really see it. Corgi is fantastic. What can I do? I can change the color of my font. So if I click on Control A while I'm in the box, oops, I misspelled fantastic. Control A selects everything in the box. And I'm going to change the color of the font. So notice, this is fill color for the whole box. This is border color for around the box. And this is for the text color or the font, right? I'm going to pick this lovely yellow color, and I can go ahead and make it bigger. Great. Done. Let's say I want to put my weird little poly shape here in front. I right click on it, click on order, click on bring to front. There it is. Okay. So that's what's really great about Google Slides, is that you can layer things on top of the other. So that means that if you are trying to create some kind of instructional drawing, that you can have a picture from your screen, right? A screenshot, and then you can use the shapes and the arrows to draw arrows to things that you want to point out. You can even write on the arrows. Have fun.